Hello guys! Well, it's been a while since I gave you updates, and that's mainly because I started looking after my health after my mother has died, because I kind of put it on hold for a long time. I didn't really go to health checks, blood checks for the last 1.5 years because of her. The only thing I went actually was for some mole check because I had some weird looking moles, and they thought it's melanoma, so they had to take them out, and they were actually precancerous, and that was last September. So that was the first check I had to go back to, because I have to do it every year. I have over 200 moles on my body, as you can probably see. It's like, I don't know if you can actually see, it's all over my hands, legs, all over my body. And apparently I also have a precancerous condition, so they also found another 2 moles which they want to take out. I just don't know when, because I have to take the second dose of COVID and I don't want them to be at the same time. And then I went to have this blood check at work, which is very strange because I booked this in 2020 in March. And I paid for something called blood check, which they do for free at work every year. But I also got the option, which is a well woman cancer check as well. And I did that in the past in 2017. I was like, I didn't do that in a long time, and that was before knowing my mom has cancer. So that was based on some instinct, I guess. I don't know, just me being paranoid in general. And then of course my mom got cancer, so I couldn't go because I went to take care of her in another country, and I couldn't go for this test. And I only managed to book it now, a few weeks ago, and I went to it last week, and it looks like an ovarian cancer antigen was quite elevated. So this antigen usually is like in the 35s. It's less than 35, which they consider is normal. Mine was in 2017 27, so it was normal. If you have any pelvic inflammatory disease, it's around 60, 50, 60. Also, if you're on your period, it's around 50, 60. And I was kind of 3 days after my period when I took the test. So, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was in like 50, 60. But apparently it came back as 104, which the nurse said it's quite elevated and she's concerned. And I don't know what to think. I did try to explain to her I did have in the past condition which suggested endometriosis, even though no one gave me the accurate diagnosis in writing. There's been a few issues, so I always had issues with my pelvic area. So in high school, when I went to the gynecologist for the first time, she said that my uterus is retroverted, like the position of it is upside down. Because I used to have pain sometimes, or feel like pressure, and she said it's because of that. Then I started having more pain, and I don't know if I was spotting back then or not, but I had to go again to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with polycystic ovaries, which means you have more of the male hormone in you than you should, and I don't know, it's causing infertility and other problems, right? And they suggested I should lose weight, which I did, and I didn't have issues for a while until like 2019, when I started spotting meaning bleeding outside of your period. But it was usually happening at the same time, like 2 weeks after the period, which suggested during the ovulation. And also it was a bit worse if I was exercising. So whenever I was going for a run, I was bleeding a bit after. So, I panicked back then. I went to a private insurer. I went with private insurance to a private clinic, and they did a check. They said everything looks fine, but they also wanted to do to put I forgot the name of it, to put a camera through to have a look at the ovaries, endometrium, not ovaries, endometrium, I think, and uterus through me or something. To which the nurse took me aside and said, if you never had a baby, I would suggest to actually go for anesthesia because it's very painful to do that. So I was kind of panicking, but then the insurer didn't allow me to go through with it because they found some problems in my application or something, which wasn't true. But to be honest, I was kind of relieved because apparently it was painful, so I didn't insist. And I didn't even have issue from then. And then I had the pap smear since then 3 times. I mean, it's been a couple of years, probably 5 years now. So if there was any issues from there, I would have noticed it. And then I went to the doctor again in 2019 at the end. I moved from Manchester to London. So this private clinic was in Manchester, and then I moved to London. And I had to go to the NHS because I still had this spotting, and I wanted to see if they can do something. And they did do an ultrasound in November, and then another ultrasound in February. But in between, I had to take this progesterone pill to kind of, I don't know, help me because they found some ovary cysts. And then on the appointment in February, he explained a bit more that it's actually endometriomas on it. Even though I don't remember him explaining exactly what it means. So I found the paper yesterday, and apparently endometriomas are caused by endometriosis, which must be quite advanced in order to give you endometrioma. So probably endometriosis is somewhere stage 3. Which is quite high, even though I don't really have big symptoms. Like, I heard people with endometriosis who cannot stand up or do daily activities, not even talking about running here, and I don't have that. All I have is sometimes I have a pressure in my pelvic area which feels like, oh, you're constipated or something, and it's pressing on your ovaries, and it's like a dull ache. Like, it's not sharp, it's just there, and it's there for like a few days, and it feels kind of like before menstruation. I'm not bloated, I don't have any pain in the abdomen. I still eat a lot. I didn't lose my appetite, I don't lose weight. I have to actually go on diet in order to lose some weight now. So there's nothing to tell me that there is something wrong with my body apart from this pressure, which I always had in the past, and maybe some spotting like now and then, but not as it was worse in the past when they found the 2 endometriomas on my ovary. So to be honest, for the past few months I thought my condition has improved, and for her not to say that the CA is quite elevated and she's worried, I was a bit confused because I don't know, she thinks it's too elevated to be an inflammatory disease or menstruation. So she really wants me to see the GP. She seems a bit panicked, and that panicked me a bit as well. And I don't know, guys, I just want to find my own normality, I guess, and these things happen. Precancerous moles now, fucking CA125 elevated, and I was like, God, I really hope it's endometriosis. I'm trying not to think about cancer, but it's at the back of my mind all the time. And regarding the fact that my mother has passed around 2 months ago from cervical cancer, which is pretty much in the same region, and I know how it spread, I know how much she suffered, and the pain, and mental, and chemotherapy, which she could, and she said it's so difficult, and she wanted to give up on the first chemo. It's like, if it is something cancer, like, fingers crossed it's not. Guys, I don't think I can do this. I I don't think I have the power to go through this because it happened too recently. I didn't even adjust to my normal life again. And yeah, I don't know. I've been a bit busy with these things lately because there's a lot of crap happening, and sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's going on and sort out my health, I guess. I called the GP this morning, but because of COVID, they don't take you're not allowed to go in anymore in person, so I have to wait for a call back from them, and they were like, "Oh, if you miss this call back, you'll have to fill in the form again." And I'm like, "Man, I'm trying to work. I'm in calls during the day. You can't just call me once back and then say, "Oh, you missed it. You have to complete the form again." I want this to get checked as soon as possible, and now I have to keep my mobile on sound and, mention every meeting I have that, if I have a call, I have to answer the call. It's just, I just want this to get out of the way. And then also this is Saturday, on Sunday I have an ultrasound on my chest area because I also have nodules there which change from time to time, so I want to get that checked out as well. I hope that's gonna come back okay. At least it's like, fingers crossed. I hope it's nothing serious and I sort this all out. I take those tumors out. I hope this CA elevated is just endometriosis, and I hope that there's nothing in the breast area, so then I can just start to move on. But it's not a minute, it's a bit stressful, and I'm like, the fact that my mom died recently from cancer is probably not helping because it's somewhere there. Like, what if it is, like they say it's a low percentage, but my mom was a low percentage. I could as well be one, right? I don't know. I think I'm just paranoid now and I need to calm down, but it's so difficult. But anyway, I will keep you guys updated on that. Hopefully she's gonna call me today or tomorrow and we can book a gyno and I can have an ultrasound or something to check and make sure it's only those two endometriomas which are causing the issue and nothing else, So yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. But thanks for checking my channel and all the best to you guys. Take care. Bye bye.